Hey everyone, in today's Desmos course, we are going to cover all the questions related to quadratic, parabolas and functions. So if you watch this video completely, any question from any of these topics, you will not miss an SAT for sure. So stay tuned and let's get started. What is the value of the positive solution of the quadratic equation which is given above? So one quadratic equation is given. This is, I know, pretty easy, but I have to cover all the questions which are possible and which can be done on Desmos. So no matter whether it's easy or difficult, let's do it. The quadratic equation is already given to you. What you have to do, simply put this on Desmos and you can easily find out the solutions of that. Solutions are basically the x-intercepts. So let me plug in, let me write it down. I think, let me check once. Okay, perfect. So now I'm gonna check. Okay, I got the two intercepts, -1 and 0.5. That will be my answer. But in the question, this is a stub error that you all can do, a silly mistake that you can do. Which option to choose? Now if it is a SPR question where you need to one box is given and you need to fill it, if you got two positive values, two positive solutions, you can put any one of them. But here I'm getting one negative solution and one positive, so you have to choose the positive one because in the question they are asking you to write down the positive solution of the quadratic equation. So your answer will not be -1, it will be 0.5, right? So these are the small things we need to take care. Alright, next question. Now I always avoid. Okay, let me first start, otherwise you'll get confused. Take 30 seconds to read the question. In the quadratic equation above, c is a constant. For which of the following values of c does the equation have two different integer solutions? So the equation is already given to you, which is x squared plus 16x plus c equals 0. Now in this case, you know that I have already told you in the previous videos, previous Desmos guide and everywhere that Desmos only understands x or y. But this equation has one more variable which is c, and Desmos do not understand that. So in this case, we will do this question on Desmos because see, directly they are asking me to find out the value of c, and the options are given. All the four possible values are given. Out of these four values of c, one is the value. Rest are all wrong. So whenever they are directly asking you about the value of that variable and it is given in the numbered form, not in the equation form, we can use Desmos. How? In that case, we'll use slider. I'll tell you, I never tell my students to use sliders, but this is the only case where you can use sliders. Be it a linear equation, be it a quadratic equation, but if there is any variable and they are asking you to find out that value of that variable c and the options are given, you can use Desmos. Let's see how. So I'll go to the Desmos screen. X square plus 16x plus c. Okay. When you type c, it will ask you to add the slider of c, and you have to do it. Otherwise, you will not get a graph. You'll get an error, right? So in that case, no issues. See, I will use the slider. Now I don't have to slide. I don't have to slide and check. I already have four values of c. I'll put one by one and I'll put these values one by one and I will check for which value of c. One second, let me use my pen. Yeah, I'm gonna check for which value of c my equation has two different integer solutions. Let's try to plug in 20 first. So I can type. Are you getting two values? Are you getting two solutions? No. The solution is only one. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay, you are getting two solutions here, but again read the question. Integer solutions. So now I'll check for the integers. Are these two values integers? No, they are decimals, right? I want integers. So first options, I'll simply eliminate this. Now I'm gonna put 28. So let me replace 20 with 28. Now you'll again check, are you getting integer values? Oh sorry, my bad. I put 208. So, all right, let's check. Zoom in a bit so that you get a clear picture of the values. Here you're getting integer value, that is negative 14. Again an integer value. Both the values are integer. Both the x-intercepts are integer, and that's what they are asking in the question. So your answer will be 28. You can even go and check for 100 and 125, but once you got the answer, no need to go and check the rest of the two. Okay. I hope it is clear. This is the only case, this is the only condition where I tell my students to use Desmos and use slider on Desmos. Otherwise, slider is just waste of time, trust me. Now understand, if in this case, options are not given, if it would have been a SPR based question, and in this question they are saying that it has two solutions, two distinct solutions or value is greater than something related to discriminant. In that case, you'll apply the formula of discriminant and check. If I say it has only one solution, one real solution or two real solutions, if I say it has only one solution, so you will use discriminant equals 0. B square minus 4AC equals 0. B is nothing but it is a coefficient of 6x. A is coefficient, see this is the general form. Now you can compare and find out the value, and then you can find out the value of C from this equation, right? If it is an SPR based, I'll never tell you to use slider, because there you have to only drag and roll the slider and check, right, at what value you are getting two integer solutions. But when options are given, you can simply plug in these options. You can write down these options and check. So I hope it makes sense, and you're not going to do, many of the students do this mistake and they waste a lot of time in just sliding and rolling the sliders. Okay. Next question, very, very, very important. We have done already regression on linear equations. If you don't know, please go through step by step, part 1, linear equations, part 2, part 3. Go with the flow. I am very sure if you have gone through those videos, you can do it without my help. Only one thing is, I have a question for you. I already told you in that whenever equation is given in whenever there is a quadratic equation, how many unknown values are there? Don't count x and y in that. Unknown value means other variable. The variables we'll count other than x and y. So 1, 2 and 3. We have three variables. How many points are given? 2 points. Now I told you when we were doing regression that number of unknowns should be either equal to or less than number of points. Suppose if there are two unknowns, at least 2 points should be given. If there are more points than 2, it's okay, but at least 2 points should be there. If there are three unknowns, 3 points should be there, but there are only 2 points. Read the question carefully. There is one condition given. A is an integer greater than 1. A could be any value which is greater than 1. Can I say A equals 2? You can say A equals 3 also, but I'll take 2. If I take smaller number, I have to do little less calculation. Okay. So instead of A, I'll just plug in 2. 2x square plus bx plus c will be my function now. I have two unknowns and 2 points. Can I use regression now? Of course. So let's use it. The one who don't know how to use regression, let's do it this time. So here we go. But make sure that you're watching the previous videos as well. It will be of great help. 10, 0, negative 5, 0. Okay, now I know there is a function f of x. Hey, let me start. The one who don't know, let me start from there. Function is a. In place of a, I have used 2 x square. What was that? Let me check once. Plus bx, I guess, plus c. Okay. Now, there's an error. Why? Because we are not using regression. Regression means the symbol, similarity symbol. Okay. Now, again, there is an error. So instead of f of x, here this is y1. So I have to replace this x1, f of x, as f of x with y1. And similarly, it is not x, it's x1 now. So I'll replace this x with x1. Why I have not done that before? Just to tell you what is the mistake here. Okay, so that you will not repeat. I got the value of b. I don't know. I don't want actually the value of c. I'll only focus on the value of b. B is negative 10, a is 2. What I have to do? It's a plus b? Yes. So a plus b is what? Negative 8. Makes sense? I think one or two more questions are there. Yeah, two more questions. Three. Okay. All right. This all we have already done. So let's try this question. This is interesting question. Very important question. Let's try this. So the question is, the function f is a quadratic function. The graph of y equals f of x in the xy plane has a vertex of negative 4, 8, contains the point negative 5, 6, and has a y-intercept of 0, a. The graph of y equals 3 times f of x has a y-intercept at 0, b. What is the positive difference between a and b? Now so much of information is given. So we'll part process it. We'll first try to figure out the y-intercept, which is a. Okay. Now always remember this equation. We can write quadratic function in three ways. Remember, let's understand the concept first. First is the standard form, ax square plus bx plus c. Second is the vertex form, which is a f of x, ax minus h whole square plus k. And the third is the factorized form. It's a x minus alpha x minus beta, something like that. So right now we never find questions like this based on factorized form. Majorly you will see, majority of the questions you will see, either the function is given in standard form or the function is given in vertex form. Standard form type of question we have already done in the previous question was of standard form only. Now talking about vertex form. So in this form, here I told you if there are three unknowns, you need 3 points at least. It could be more than that, but at least you need 3 points to find out the value of all the three variables using regression. But here this is not the case. There are two variables, but we do not need 2 points. We need only 1 point because one is the vertex that is already given. Always remember the vertex will h comma k will always be given and 1 point will be given. If these two things are given, you can use regression. So here h comma k vertex is given. Can I write this equation in form of vertex like a x minus h means x plus 4 whole square plus 8, right? Now in that Desmos, you'll use regression sign. So y1, x1 and all. 1 point is given. So you'll insert a table above this and you'll only write negative 5 and 6. Let's do it. Okay. Negative 5 and 6. And here you'll write y1. This time I'll write direct because you already know now how to write an equation for the regression. So a in the bracket it's x1 plus 4 whole square plus 8. You got the value of a because there is only one variable left, right? And 1 point is already given. That's the reason whenever the equation is given in vertex form, vertex will always be given and there is only one variable left. So you need only 1 point to find the leading coefficient, which is a. Now you got the value of a. I'll redefine this function. So either you can write down the values. I always prefer writing values. I don't know why, but you can also write this in the general form. Both will work. So let me try something different. I'll not write it in the general form. I plug in the values. X plus 4 whole square plus 8. Alright. Now, what is the y-intercept here? What is f of 0? Now instead of scrolling and checking, you can do, first method is you can do like this, negative 24, or you can simply write what is f of 0 here. F of 0 is when x equals to 0, you will get negative 24. So negative 24 is y-intercept. You always get y-intercept when x is 0, right? So that is negative 24. Remember the value of a is negative 24. Now what you have to do next? Let's read the other part of the question. The graph of 3 times f of x has a y-intercept. Now when you are shifting, when you're doing 3 times of that function, you'll get a different y-intercept. Let's figure out. Let's do y equals 3 times f of x. You got a different graph which is green in color. Again, now you have to find out the y-intercept of this. You're getting somewhere here. I think, yeah, this is the point. Negative 72. You got the value of a, which was negative 24. You got the value of b, which is negative 72. You will subtract because they are saying you want the positive difference. So you'll do negative 24. Negative negative makes positive, then 72. Positive difference is 48. That's how you have to do. You can even take the screenshot of this because I'm very sure just by looking at the question you won't get it. You have to do it once again by your own. Okay, let's try another question. I think this is gonna be okay, second last. These are two easy questions. What I'm gonna tell you, I will tell you how you will put it on Desmos. Rest is your job to do it. Okay, do it by your own. So I'll just tell you the steps. You can plug in the same way and do let me know whether you're getting it or not. Let's see first of all whether we can use Desmos or not. So this is the function. If it is not visible, let me zoom in. This is the function. If points 0, 55 over 76 and 11, 0 belongs to the function given above, find the value of q such that f of q equals 1. How many unknowns are there? 2. B and C. How many points are given to you? 2. Number of unknowns equals to the number of points, right? We can use regression. How? Insert a table, plug in these points, and then write this equation in the regression form. Your f of x will replace by y1, regression x1 square plus bx1 plus c over x1 minus 4 in one bracket, x1 plus 19 in other bracket. Okay. Now from here you will get the value of b and c. Now you have to check f of x equals 1. And in this case in this place you will check the intersection point. That will be your answer. Your answer should be 1. Okay, at what point it is intersecting. Do let me know this question. I'm only leaving this question for you. In the comment section, do write it down. What answer you get? What is the value of q? At what value of q your graph is you're getting 1. Okay. Coming to the next question, here we go. Two equations are given and they are asking you to find out which ordered pair xy is the solution of the given equation. What you can do is you can equate both of them or you can write both of them, put it on Desmos. Let's see how we can do this. X by 4 minus 2, and then we have x by 3 plus 3. Practice Desmos. I'll tell you one more hack about Desmos at the end. Let me finish this once. Okay, let's make this question little interesting. Alright, let's check out their intersection points. So in the question, what are they saying? Which ordered pair x comma y is the solution of the given system of equations? I'm getting two solutions. Why I put one in the first, other in the second? There's one way. First way is to equate both of them and form a new quadratic equation and then put it on Desmos. Second is directly put it on Desmos, equate them. When you equate them, this is going to be your left hand side and right hand side, right? You'll write x by 4 minus 2, x by 3 plus 3 equals to x by 2 minus 11 by 2. I directly put it on Desmos. Okay, I got two graphs and I can check their intersection points. That will be the solution. Now here, only solution that is matching is negative 1 comma negative 6. This is not in the option, that's why we are not choosing it. If this, either of the one will be there in the options. Okay, so that's the reason why I chose negative 1 comma negative 6. This was pretty easy. I took this question just to, I was not sure whether you'll get confused or will you be able to solve it on Desmos, or are you going to do it manually. So you can directly put it on Desmos. So these are the questions that we have discussed on quadratic polynomials and functions. Now I don't think so there is anything else that is left to be discussed on Desmos. Now if you want a short uh, kind of course on calculator, do let me know which calculator are you using. Is it TI-84, is it TI Inspire, or it's Casio, so that I can make a dedicated video on that, what all types of questions you should do on calculator. Okay, so that's all for today. Make sure that you're subscribing this channel, and if you know anyone who is preparing for SAT, students get frustrated, trust me, please help them by sharing this channel. They will get plenty of questions, but each and every question has its own importance. I'm not uh, I'm not actually putting more focus on the quantity, but the questions that we are doing, they are of good quality, trust me. So that's all for today, and you can me drop me in the comment section from which country are you and which SAT are you going to give. I mean, if you're from India, of course you'll give SAT in India. If you're from Singapore, you'll give SAT in Singapore. So do let me know also, so that I can also understand in on my channel from where the students are connecting, from what all countries. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Bye bye.